To convert a triple integral from rectangular form to spherical coordinates, we need to consider the volume of a tiny spherical wedge. We'll call it delta V. Let's first take a look at the length of this side right here, which measures the distance from this point back to the origin, and that distance is considered to be rho. Let's call that rho sub k. And then we're also going to need to have this distance back to the origin. We'll call this rho sub k minus 1. So now the length of this side in our spherical wedge is going to be some change in that rho quantity. Now let's consider the measure of phi, which comes down from the positive z-axis. The outermost measure of this value phi, let's call it phi sub j, and let's call the innermost measure of this angle phi sub j minus 1. And the change in that angle phi is going to match the change in the angle phi as if it were measured here. So let's call this delta phi as the change in that angle, which can also be considered to be measuring the change in the angles from here. Now we also need to get the change in the measure of angle theta, and to do that we'll project the wedge into the xy plane, and we'll see that this angle measured from the positive x-axis can be considered theta sub I, and this angle measured from the positive x-axis can be considered theta sub I minus 1, and we'll call the angle that's in between those two some small change in theta. Now let's recall that this tiny spherical wedge is itself a cylinder, and in order to calculate the volume of any cylinder, we're going to need to determine the area of the base and then multiply that through by the height. So we're looking for the area of this front face here, and that can be found by looking at the area of this large sector and then subtracting off the area of this small sector. That'll leave us with the area of that front face. So let's talk about the area of the large sector, which is 1/2 rho sub k squared times the angle small change in phi, and the area of the small sector that we're going to need to subtract off is going to be 1/2 rho sub k minus 1 quantity squared, also times that small change in phi. So we'll put these into our area, and when we subtract those two things, we get the area of the base of that spherical wedge. So the height of this spherical wedge is going to be measured by looking at an arc length. This arc length down here is what we're going to use because it's the same projection of the arc length on the wedge. And remember, arc length formula is S is equal to R times theta, again theta measured in radians. R was the distance from the origin out to this arc, and the measure of our angle in the projection here is delta theta. So we're going to be using this S arc length as the height of our spherical wedge in our formula. And so down here in our calculations, again, we're using that arc length, which is going to be R times delta theta. This delta V is going to be used in our integrand when we convert from rectangular coordinates into spherical coordinates, so we definitely want to simplify this as much as possible. We'll notice that each of these terms has a 1/2 that's common, as well as a delta phi that's common to both terms. So let's pull both of those out, and let's put that together with R delta theta out front. So our tiny volume can now be written as 1/2 R delta phi delta theta times rho sub k squared minus rho sub k minus 1 squared. And this is the difference of squares that can be factored. And we factor this into rho sub k plus rho sub k minus 1 times rho sub k minus rho sub k minus 1. And let's notice that this is essentially that change in rho that we saw on our concept drawing. Now let's let rho sub m be the midpoint value of rho, and when we choose a representative within this spherical wedge to map to the fourth dimension function that is going to be the integrand of the triple integral, we can choose any point in the spherical wedge to represent the wedge itself. So we're going to let rho sub m be the rho value of our representative point, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and just say that we'll choose the midpoint of the theta values and the midpoint of the phi values. But in our derivation, we're really just going to be interested in this rho quantity because the midpoint is going to be 1/2 times rho sub k plus rho sub k minus 1. Which is showing up in our derivation, 1/2 times rho sub k plus rho sub k minus 1. So let's replace all that with just rho, that is the midpoint. We still have the R delta phi delta theta, and now we also have delta rho. Let's also fly this down into the XY plane to get the projection down here, and let's consider then what is going to be that value of r. Remember, we actually don't get r's in spherical coordinates, so we need to get rid of this r in our calculation. And in order to do that, let's consider this right triangle. The angle that's measured down to this hypotenuse side is going to be our phi sub m. And because these two sides are parallel, and by the alternate interior angle theorem, we know that this angle here is also phi sub m. The length of our hypotenuse side is the measure rho sub m, and we can use the sine of angle phi sub m to relate these three sides as opposite over hypotenuse. And if we multiply both sides by rho sub m, we get a substitution for r, which is rho sub m times sine phi sub m. So let's take this back to our volume calculation and substitute that in for our r, and then simplify. And now I think we're ready to use this in creating the triple integral that will enable us to convert from rectangular to spherical coordinates. So when we have a triple integral in rectangular form, we're going to convert that into spherical coordinates by first utilizing our conversion formulas that x is equal to rho sine phi cos theta, y is equal to rho sine phi sine theta, and z is equal to rho cos phi. So all of those get substituted in for x, y, and z. And the substitution for dv is our little tiny volume of the spherical wedge. And when we make that substitution, we'll notice that we're going to pick up a factor of rho squared sine phi. That factor is picked up when we convert from rectangular to spherical. And then we'll integrate with respect to phi, with respect to theta, and with respect to rho, and we'll choose an order of integration that makes sense for that domain region. So the big takeaway here is that when we convert from rectangular to spherical, we need to pick up this factor of rho squared sine phi when we are substituting in for our dv.